I'm Oni. What's good, everybody? So here we are again with another news watch. Let's get watching.
Time here in Arizona, Secretary of State Katie Hobbs calling on our Attorney General Mark Brnovich to investigate the recent changes to USPS. Secretary Hobbs sending out several tweets saying she wants Attorney General Brnovich to investigate whether or not the Trump administration has committed a crime. Secretary Hobbs joining us live this morning to talk more about it. Secretary Hobbs, good morning to you. Do we have her?
Good morning.
Okay. All right, glad to have you here this morning. So I want to get straight into this. Well, what are your biggest concerns about the recent changes to the Postal Service?
Well, we've been watching the situation for a while, and what became really clear recently is that the changes are an attempt to undermine the Postal Service ahead of vote by mail for this November's election. The president said that himself last week, which is what prompted us to action to ask the Attorney General for an investigation.
If you notice, they're not really defining their terms very well, or exactly defining what the situation is per se. For those of you who don't know, the USPS, as far as money goes, as far as if whatever their accusations are, when it comes to the money governmentally, they already have the funding to operate exactly the way they do for all the way going through until next year. Things of that nature, either the Republicans or the Democrats arguing back and forth about the financing or the funding of the U.S. postal system. It's not really attached to the money that they already have going into next year. So anybody talking about, the funding's going to be, causing them not to be able to function per se or anything along that nature, that's a false narrative. As far as mailboxes, I'm not sure if anybody's heard of those things. Mailboxes, the U.S. postal system, obviously with the course of changes in our society, people are not mailing things in that way as much anymore. So they are going around either getting rid of some of the boxes or replacing them or whatever they have to do to kind of help their workers not driving all about to different mailboxes that nobody uses. So that is that one right there particularly is at least on Twitter, is a rampant media hoax right now. So be wary of that because people are not really doing their due diligence to research these particular nuances. And do you guys notice also in the beginning segment there that that lady in the red dress just kind of, they like to throw out these little statements without much context. Supposedly Trump is committing a crime. Once again, what are you talking about? And once again, nobody really dives in to explain it. Nobody brings up any kind of law like, hey, look at this law right here. And this is exactly what Trump said right here. That is exactly contradictory. He is violating the law. They don't do that. They don't present any information. They just talk. Just talk.
So do you think what's going on is going to deter Arizonans from voting in November?
Well, today we're canvassing the official results of the primary election, where 88% of voters cast their ballots by mail. And so I think that shows their confidence in the system that we have here in Arizona.
Looks like a scary room, doesn't it?
And we're going to continue to make sure that voters can cast their ballots as we head into November.
Yeah, I know Governor Ducey has commented on that before, saying that, the votes would be safe. So what is the state doing to ensure a timely and, more importantly, accurate election process?
Well, Arizonans are lucky that we have more than one option to vote. So you can vote by mail, you can vote early in person, you can vote on election day, and if you vote by mail, you can return your ballot in a lot of different ways. We have secure ballot drop boxes around the state. People can drop their ballots at early polling places, on Election Day. And so we're going to make sure that voters have all this information, the information they need to participate and to participate safely in the election.
Okay, Secretary Hobbs, in less than 2 hours, you are going to...
You can just tell it's like, oh man, yeah, that's not gonna stay. Why'd they record that, man?
be certifying those votes from the primary election that we had. So what is that process going to look like now?
Well, we'll be broadcasting it over live stream on our Facebook page at 10 o'clock this morning. And it's really just the official stamp of these are the official results from the election, and it certifies the nominees that will move on to the November election.
Okay, so, the primary, the first election we've had, obviously, during this pandemic. And so do you feel that there are going to be any changes, anything that we learned from that process that you'll be applying into the general election?
Well, we actually took a lot of lessons that we learned from the presidential preference election in March as we planned and prepared for this month's election. But certainly we'll be regrouping and looking at what we can do better in November. But I think things went really well, and we have had time to prepare, and I feel confident moving into November.
Have you had any comments, from Brnovich, from Attorney General Brnovich, about your tweets?
No.
You haven't heard anything?
No.
Okay. Do you expect to be reaching out again? Do you think you'll pursue this further?
Well, I think this is a great opportunity for two top elected leaders of the state to work in partnership to help uphold the integrity.
See, right here is she's posted on Twitter. It'll be nice as your state representative or at least holding some type of office in our government, that they would be a little bit more direct or detailed in how they talk about certain things. That's their main job, is communicate, or at least aspect of their job is communication. But as we can see here in these tweets, let's look at this top one. In Arizona, it's against the law to delay the delivery of a ballot. I've asked Attorney General Brnovich to investigate recent changes at USPS and whether or not the Trump administration has committed a crime. Wow. What? I have no idea. There's just no details there. What exactly is he violating? Also, I think just recently I've heard that the USPS, whatever the leader is, I guess Postmaster, I guess his name is, came out and said that there are absolutely no changes in their functionality or operations that are going to be taking place. So once again, what is what's going on? Is there anything going on?
Of our state's elections, and I hope that as the Attorney General with investigative and enforcement authority with the Election Integrity Unit, that he would take this request for an investigation seriously.
Okay, Secretary of State Katie Hobbs, we appreciate you being on with us live this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, as far as the mail-in voting, once again, these guys, they didn't mention it, so I'll just continue to mention it. Make sure you guys put that signature on that envelope. Make sure you put that signature on there, because if you don't, that vote will not count. And, to be fair, I am not completely sure if that is just for if that is for Arizona, or if that's for everywhere, or particular states. I'm assuming that it's for every state, so just make sure you sign that envelope. So if you don't sign the envelope, they will not count it. But yeah, just be honest. If you really want your vote to count, just go in person. Everybody, you guys go to Walmart, you guys go to the store, you do everything you got to do, and everybody just has a mask on. There's not really an argument for not being able to just stand in line, or just stand 6 feet away from somebody and go in to vote in person. Really isn't much of an argument. Just make sure you have your hand sanitizer as you walk out, and boom, bada boom, you're good to go. So it's not much of a crisis as people are making it out to be. To be honest, I mean, you guys go to the store. So, but anyway, I'm Moni.